All right, guys. I know that most of you don't watch the Let's Play videos, the different games I play, and stuff like that. I had a little bit of an accident happen here with the NP3 replay, and so give you a little bit of an idea of what's happened. My computer is a iMac from 2019. I use an array of portable SSDs to store a lot of stuff on it, and I had the Windows virtual machine on one of the portable SSDs. So I'm actually running Linux. I run Arch Linux. It's actually Endeavor OS. Which is the same as Arch. And I have a bunch of these SSDs hooked together onto one of these Thunderbolt docking bays. And this Thunderbolt docking bay just drives me nuts because every time like you bump it or something, everything becomes disconnected like all of a sudden. So there's some sort of issue with it, some sort of problem. I have to use this for SSDs because my hard drive doesn't have enough space. And of course, because it's an Apple computer, you can't like go in there and replace the hard drive, right? Because everything has to be soldered on, because who would imagine the computer person would want to replace anything? Anyway, the mistake I made was in putting the virtual machine on one of the portable SSDs, because while I was using Windows 10, that's what I'm on, something got bumped and something got taken away. And I'll show you what happened here. The data file that I have for NP3 ended up getting corrupted. So if I go over here and I try to open up NP3, we'll open up NP3, go to NP3 again, and we'll open this up as a administrator, as we're supposed to do. And then we click over here on 1908 as soon as this comes up. There you go. Gives me an error message. Error code 406 missing SKS underscore -1.scx file. So this is a problem, right? I've talked with Cyrus, who does technical support and who created this game. We were trying to figure this out. He thought that maybe the 1908 SCX file was broken, and that's not really the case. Now, the thing that's broken is this file. It's this Microsoft Access file right here, which is where all of the game data and all of the information is saved. So I don't know, I don't profess to know exactly how this works, but I do know that when you play a game, that's stored over here in games. These games can then be imported into the 1908 file right here, and that's the thing that is actually your replay. And you can see there's one of these for every season. Now, I know that that file is the problem, in part because this 1908 SCX file is perfectly fine, right? This is the same file that I've had before. I guess this is recently modified or something. It doesn't really matter, right? It's the same file that I had when I started on this particular computer. I also know that there's not a problem with the exe file. If I choose, I don't know, if I choose like 1902 and I click on load, it pops up. Look, no problem at all. It pops right up. Here it is. Here's our screen. I'm in front of it. Doesn't really matter. Move it over to the side. Here I'll make myself a little bit smaller, and then you can enjoy everything if it's going to let me. There we go. There we go. So you can play a game here just like normal. But if I go to change season to 1908, it says error code 406, the same error code that we had before. So that tells me that there's probably something wrong with this access file, which we're going to go ahead and delete. I'm probably going to save like a backup copy of it, you know, as you're supposed to do just in case. Now, I'm going to delete this, and then we're going to go through together, and we're going to see what we need to do to save the save. So hold your horses, and I'll be back with you in a sec. All right, guys, so that didn't take too long. I went ahead and got all this stuff fixed up. I got the zip file taken down. I unzipped and extracted the two necessary files for 1908. And now we need to put in our passcode. Actually, apparently we don't. Look at that. We didn't even have to put in the validation code. So whatever it was that Cyrus did, it worked. And here we go. We have this, but there are no games that have been shown for as being played. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to import games into our replay. So we need to start a new game. Okay, this is interesting. Here we go. Replace games, import all. This is what we wanted. And we're going to make sure that we import only the games that we want to. There's one that we don't want to. So what I'm going to do, because I know that there's a single duplicate, I know this about my own files, is I'm going to go back over here to games. I'm going to delete the one that I know we don't want, which is this one. There was one where I saved it under the wrong name. We'll try that again. Replace games, import all games. Yeah. And then we just sort of sit back and wait. So it goes through all 221 of the games that we've played so far in this replay. Now, there is a caveat, right, which is that all of the transactions that have taken place are going to need to happen again by hand. That's not a huge problem. I can make the transactions happen because I've been doing it by hand anyway. I have a file that has a list of all of this stuff. That's really the only caveat, and that's, as far as I understand, the only problem. In fact, if this screws up, we can always figure out a way to go back and to try doing it again. Now, we all learn a bunch of lessons from this. I suppose that MDB database file probably should be backed up, although from the sound of things and talking with Cyrus, it sounds like it was a total freak accident. I think it was caused by the SSD being disconnected while I was playing a game, or as a game was completed, or whatever point of time it was. So we'll go ahead and take a look here and see if these stats are updated right. That looks a little bit better. And yep, this is the pennant race just the way that we left it. Nothing has changed. Nothing is different. So there you have it. And now if we go back here into our directory and look, so let's see here. We'll go back to Documents, NP3, take a quick look here. In the games, all the games are still there. How about that? So everything is still there. Nothing has changed. If anything weird happens or whatever, we can always go back into it. We'll be just fine. No problem at all. And there you have it. So that's the way that you back up, or that you can restore a NP3 replay if something crazy happens to your hard drive. It's not too hard. It didn't take us that long. This video is less than 10 minutes long. There you go. We're ready to play again. I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.